Our guest tonight is TNA star Jeff Hardy. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I can't complain.
Oh, that's good. No one listens anyway, right?
Right, I was about to say that, but I figured why not?
uh, on
You covered it for me.
on Tuesday, you make your return to TNA Impact Wrestling after missing several weeks of action. How excited are you to get back into the ring, and how are you preparing for your matchup against Eric Young for the King of the Mountain Championship?
I've been wrestling now. I think I've had about 7 matches total, and each match I do a little bit more because I have a torn PCL, but I got a really good brace, and I feel real safe in the ring. But every match I do a little more. Like, for example, I just did a first swanton a couple weeks ago and crushed Matt in the process. But, I just push myself a little more, and Tuesday I'm going to really push myself to new limits as far as the injury and where I can go and what I can and can't do. I'm just mentally prepared and physically prepared, and I'm just glad to be back in the mix.
Mike Yoy?
Yeah, well, you mentioned Matt, and he's quickly developed into TNA's top heel. He's been a big part of EC3 getting over as a popular face as well. What do you think about the job that Matt's done so far in his new role, and what do you think makes him such a vital part of TNA's success moving forward?
He's just such a great mind, behind the scenes, he's got such a good mind for the business, and pro wrestling is his life. He lives it and breathes it. I mean, it's what he's all about, and especially you can tell through social media. The videos him and his wife and his son put out are just, hilarious, and he's just such a great heel. He's better than he's ever been, and I'm looking forward to another Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy match. A little different scenario this time, but I think it'll be better than ever.
Brandon Galvin?
Well, obviously everybody expected you to be a multi-time TNA World Champion, but I also think many fans expected you to one day win the TNA X Division Championship as well. Is that a championship you would eventually like to compete for and bring the division back to what it once was?
Not really, especially now. I've had to modify myself quite a bit after getting hurt. So those guys are just too intense for me, at least right now. If I have the surgery and I'm 100%, I wouldn't mind getting back in that groove of style of wrestling. But yeah, they're a little too intense for me right now. I leave the high flying and the flipping up to those guys.
Well, you mentioned your injury, and you had returned from a serious leg injury just a few weeks ago. How does your leg feel now with a few extra weeks of rest, and what has the recovery process been like for you?
Oh, it's been rough. Like, I broke it April 28th of last year. So coming up on a year, and the end of April this year, I'm going to get the rod took out of my tibia, and hopefully it's going to help with some of the pain that's going on in my knee because it's kind of starting to come out a little bit. And so we're going to get that took out, and then I'm going to leave my PCL alone and just continue to work with the brace for as long as I can because it's felt good. I mean, if I could show you how my knee looks like now and how it moves, I mean, you would go, wow, how are you even walking? It's crazy how unstable it is, but the brace feels really good, and I'm just going to wrestle with that for as long as I can because once I dive into that PCL surgery, it's just like an ACL, it's 6 to 9 months. I'll be out of action.
Mike Yari?
On the injury front, concussions are a hot button issue in sports right now, and especially in wrestling because both Kevin Nash and Rob Van Dam recently announced that they're going to donate their brains to science for CTE research. So I was wondering, how would you say head injuries have impacted you over the course of your career? And also, what would be your level of interest in potentially doing something like that, donating your brain for CTE research?
My wife read where Kevin Nash had announced that, and right away I was like, oh, my God, I have to do that. Also, for sure, I want to, whatever it takes, I would love to do that as well because it's a huge, serious issue. And I've rung my bell so many times, especially back in the day when chair shots to the head were legal. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I took so many of those. But luckily, I'm aware of maybe 2 or 3 that I've had. There's no telling how many overall, but yeah, for sure. When Nash announced that, I didn't know RBD did, but that's super cool. That inspires me more to do the same thing.
BG?
Your Willow character seemed like it allowed you to try things creatively that perhaps we wouldn't have had a chance to see from you otherwise. Has there been something creatively, whether as Jeff Hardy or as Willow, that you wanted to try but you weren't able to or couldn't make work?
No, not really. It was a dream come true when they gave me a chance. to be Willow, because that's something I always wanted to do from back in the Omega days. Willow was my main character almost, because back then Jeff Hardy and Willow were completely separate. They didn't do the same moves, and it's a little harder now that I'm older. But bringing it into TNA, bringing it to life was just so cool to see. And I don't think we saw the last of Willow for sure. And it could very easily pop up on the live show this week. I mean, I think that the time is perfect for it, and give the people both, Jeff Hardy and Willow.
While you have accomplished so much in your career thus far, you haven't held the world title in TNA since 2012. What are your long-term goals with Impact Wrestling now, and do you believe another world title is in your future?
For sure, yeah. Like, I'm going to drive myself crazy until I win the world title, and actually I'd love somewhere down the road, before my time is done with TNA, to team up with Matt again and win the tag team titles again, because when I broke my leg, we had just won the belts, and we didn't even get to defend them. I was also the Omega champion at that same time, just had to give it up. But I would like to kind of try to make things make up for what I hurt, last April when I got hurt. So by far I want to be the world champion again, and by far I'd love to be tag team champions with Big Money Matt, even if he's still as arrogant as he is.
Mike Yard?
You signed a new contract with TNA fairly recently, which means you'll continue to be a key part of the company moving forward. Why did remaining with TNA appeal so much to you, and what do you see yourself doing beyond that contract? Could this be it, or do you intend to continue wrestling beyond that?
I don't know. I'm just, especially with this injury, I'm just kind of taking it match by match. But I mean, it was an obvious. I didn't hesitate when I re-signed because I owe it to him. It was a bad thing to do. I've been riding all my life, but to get hurt outside of the ring, I mean, that really hurt them. Me being, Jeff Hardy and the main player in the game. I just felt like I owed it to him. One good year of some strong wrestling, and now I hope things happen for a reason, possibly because it's really challenged me to modify my style, and I've learned a lot about myself since I got hurt, because I've been lucky, man. This is the first serious injury I've ever had, and it's been hell, but it's also kind of been good in a way, because Matt's really, he's doing great. He's on top. And as far as the future long term, I'm just focused on getting through a year right now, and maybe check out options next year this time.
BG, final question?
I think it's safe to say you'll one day get inducted into TNA's Hall of Fame. When that happens, what would that honor mean for you, and who would you like to induct you?
I don't know. I'm not really a popular fan of the whole Hall of Fame thing. I don't know. Just in my life, I've had a lot of ups and downs, and I don't feel deserving a lot of times. And it'd probably be something to where I would deny and say, "Oh no, I don't think I deserve it." But ultimately, if it had to happen, Eddie Vedder would be pretty cool if he could come in and induct me.
A huge...
Being the Billy Corgan inducted Earl Hebner.
Oh, that's true. That's true. The music tie is perfect. Well, a huge thank you to our guest, Jeff Hardy. Catch him stealing the show every Tuesday night on TNA Impact Wrestling at 9 p.m. on Pop TV. Tell the fans where they can support you, man.
Jeff Hardy Brand is my Twitter name. I'm not a social media guy like my brother is, but my main concern is for everybody to check out Impact Wrestling Tuesday night, 9 o'clock on Pop TV. My big return, another huge return for Jeff Hardy, and I'm going to turn it on.
Fantastic. A huge thank you. Good luck moving forward, sir.
Thanks, sir.